Are Amazon crochet supplies really any good? And can you learn to crochet for under 20 quid? Hey yarny peeps, my name's Sarah aka Crocreate, and today I'm going to show you a complete starter kit for crochet that I bought from Amazon and a beginner crochet book, and we're going to see if you really can start to learn to crochet for under 20 quid. This wasn't an easy task. There are so many items on Amazon. It's one of the biggest e-commerce platforms in the world, and I scrolled and scrolled to find a great deal to see if we could keep within our budget and have all of the things that we needed to learn to crochet. I just sort of went for, it was around Black Friday time, so I just went for the cheapest, as I know you would do if you're on a budget. If you want to learn how to do something and you're on a budget, you're going to go for the cheapest item. So I went for the cheapest item that had a lot of stuff in it. And then I also figured that you're going to want to know some basic stitches, some step-by-steps. I did want to look out for a manual, as it were, or a book that would sort of work through step by step everything that you needed to know. So I trawled and trawled. Crochet books are not cheap. You're talking like 14-15 quid for a book, when actually I've got a book and a starter kit for under 20 quid. Don't feel bad about doing it on a budget. If you want to learn, there are many ways you can do this. People shouldn't guilt you into feeling terrible because you're buying off Amazon or you're buying something cheap. Let's get into what I bought. We've got the book, which is Crochet Know-How, and this is by Accessory.com. Now, I didn't know what I was expecting for, I think it was 7 quid, something like that. I'll link it in the description below. Don't know what I was expecting. Have had a little quick flick through it just to sort of see what it's all about. It's not a bad book, to be fair, if you want to learn the basic stitches, and some not basic stitches in here as well. Then I got this complete starter kit. It's a bit rustly, still in its packaging. We're going to unbox this together. I mainly got this because it's got a cute cat bag with it, but it had loads of stuff in it on the listing. So let's unbox and see what the kit and the book are all about. First things first, nice handy little carry case. Really cute actually. There's supposed to be yarn in here, so it's feeling quite flat and squished. So we've got a little bag of stuff. Ergonomic hooks, impressive. 5 balls of yarn. 25 grams of yarn, and there's 5 of those, so you're getting 125 grams of yarn in there as well. Red, like an olivey green, they are squished. Yellow, white and pink. And then to carry it all around, you've got this handy carry case as well. It has got space for hooks, it's got space for accessories. It's super cute, it's super cute. Let's see what it's got. First things first, this bag's so cute. It is a little flimsy. It's made from like nylon-y polyester type material, but it's really cute and handy as well. So we have pockets here and here, and then pockets here to keep everything in, and this one actually removable as well, so that you can pull it out, have your hooks to the side. Bag of hooks, bag of lots of accessories, and then our yarn. The colours are actually okay, to be fair. It's quite soft, but I'm guessing, although I couldn't tell you for certain, it's acrylic. Not sure how this is going to work up. 25 grams per ball, and it says on there a 2 to 3 millimeter hook. So that's your 5 balls of yarn and your case. Let's get into these hooks first of all. Firstly, I love that they're all rainbow, and I love that they're ergonomic as well. We've got a 3.5, a 4.5, a 3, 2, a 4, a 5.5, a 5, 2.5, brilliant, and this should be a 6, I reckon. Yeah, brilliant. Do they feel okay? Yeah, they're quite sturdy, to be fair. When you're starting out, you want an ergonomic hook purely because if you are starting out, you don't know if you're going to get hand pain, and this can alleviate it a little bit. I would recommend as a beginner going for something with a padded handle or a chunkier handle. Not a bad little set of hooks there. So that's our first thing in the set. And then we have this bag of accessories. it looks like we also have some basic metal pin crochet hooks. I don't think these are for the faint-hearted. These kill my hands. So these are for fine thread. Got a 0.6, 1.6, a 1.9, a 0.9, a 0.85, 1.1, 1.25, 0.75, so many, 1.4, 1, 1.75, trying to go through them quick, and a 1.5. Personally, I wouldn't have put them in a starter kit. If you're a beginner and buying this starter kit, avoid these for now, unless you pick it up. Unless you pick it up really quickly, I would avoid the tiny hooks and tiny thread until you've got a hang of it. Tapestry needles, just basic, bog standard tapestry needles. Next thing, scissors. Am I hopeful that these aren't going to be blunt? Just found a spare piece of yarn. So I always do a cut test. Loose, because if you put tension on, it cuts easier. See, I knew they wouldn't work. So now let's go with tension. And still no. Oh, am I using them upside down? Go again. No. Okay, so these are absolutely 0 out of 10 because they don't even work. Next thing, handy tape measure. If you're making clothes, you're going to need a tape measure for measuring out your gauge, your swatches for your gauge. Accessories exactly the same. So really, we just want to know if it works. Which so far so good. And it's a standard 150 centimetre length one, or 60 inches. Does it recoil? Yeah, I'm just stopping it a little bit because that's it. So I'll just go that one now. That's it, fab. Yeah, absolutely fine. Works a treat. Okay, next thing, tiny pom-pom maker. Next thing is our, I'd say this was actually a gauge measurer really. Most gauges are done in 4x4 inches. But then this is also a hook measurer. Now please let me know in the comments. I am being a complete novice to this. I don't know how it works. Am I using it correctly? I'll completely openly say I'm being really thick about it. I'm really sorry. Am I using it correctly? Let me know. Next thing that's really handy to have, stitch markers. The next thing you have are stitch holders. The next thing, U-shaped cable needles, another cable needle. I'm not 100% certain why you're going to need these in a beginner crochet set. I've never used anything like this, but then I've done faux cables before in crochet. I wouldn't know how to use them. I don't know if you'd need them. Please let me know in the comments if these are a suitable accessory for a beginner. Finally, we have what I believe it's described as a yarn bobbin. For instance, if you're out at the end of a ball, you can wind your yarn around it and it's just secured on there. There's only one, so not really a great help if you're using a couple of different colours. I'm going to use the recommended hook for some of this thread. Let's go for yellow. Yellow's a nice happy colour, and it recommends a 2 to 3 millimeters, so 3 millimeter. Let's see how this yarn works up. I almost wanted this to fail so that I could come in and say, oh, it's crap yarn. It's actually not. Yeah, it's cheap. Yeah, it's acrylic without a shadow of a doubt. Yeah, it's multiple strands of acrylic, so the cheapest of the cheap. It's not bad. I really wanted this yarn to be rubbish, and that's awful. I think that's because there is a lot of hate for cheap products, and there is. We are thinking about the environment and we want to buy from small businesses, and I do appreciate that. But what I also appreciate is there is a lot of people on a budget, which I said at the beginning. So I think that's why I wanted it to be pants, but it's actually okay. It's a great practice yarn. It didn't split, didn't leave any of that weird acrylic-y residue on my hook or any fibres coming off it. It's soft enough, it's nice enough to work up. Yeah, it's okay. Crochet know-how, techniques and tips from all levels of skill from beginner to advanced. There are no patterns in this book, I will just say that right now. It is more about learning all of the stitches. What you're probably going to do is use this alongside YouTube or bought patterns or even free patterns from Etsy and Riblet and Ravelry. There are a lot of free patterns on Riblet and Ravelry and on the internet in general. Get on Pinterest, find something you want to make. Use this book in conjunction with that. Before you begin, basic skills, basic stitches, special stitches, further skills, finishing and making up. What I like about this is it's not just let's get into it. It's got a lot of sort of things about the hook. So the anatomy of the hook, stitch conversion chart for US and UK terms, which is great to have to hand. The conversion charts for all the hooks, yarn weights, which I find is always great to have a handy translation of when you're working up different patterns from different designers. We have different types of yarn, looking at yarn labels, reading a pattern, an abbreviation list of the more commonly used terms, charts, the key for charts here, which is really nice. Basic skills section. So the first thing here that I don't like people advocating how you should hold your hook and yarn in crochet. I'm not a massive fan of people prescribing you how to hold your hook and yarn. I get this a lot when we do shows and things like that. People come up to me and say, oh, I've tried it, but I can't hold the hook like they tell you to, so I gave up. Hold your hook and yarn how you want to hold your hook and yarn. You hold it for you. If it's functional and it works, that's great. Keep at it, keep practicing, and you'll enjoy it more instead of like looking at that and thinking, oh, I've got to hold it a certain way. And then we start to get into the stitches. So first of all, slip knot. I'm just going to whiz through this. Slip knot and chain. Making a circle, so the basic method, then the magic ring. So it's nice that it flows in order. I actually love how this book flows. It goes from super beginner to a little bit more advanced, and it flows nicely into the skills you're going to know. Working in rounds, working in rows, crocheting in the first and last stitch, working in both sides of the chain, slip stitch, joining with a slip stitch. Use stitch markers, how to count the stitches, the anatomy of the stitch, all these things, so basic skills are in this book. How to measure tension, amazing, absolutely amazing. And again, another skill that you definitely need. Now, double crochet. So what it's nice, this is in UK terms, this book. Got all the symbols for every stitch. We've got double, half, treble, again, flowing into the from basic to trickier stitches. Treble, double treble, elongated stitches, raised treble, front round, front post treble and back post treble. And then special stitches. Now, there are a few things here where the basic stitches I think should be a little bit sooner in the book, and there's some stitches that should be a little bit later in the book. Still doesn't interrupt the flow, I just don't think they're in the right section. Clusters, popcorn, oh, one of my favourite stitches, puff stitch, I love stitches with texture, raised flowers, waves and chevrons, increasing and decreasing, I would have put that in the earlier section. Creating squares, join as you go method, so a lot of construction skills, joining yarn, intarsia skills. I would have put the join as you go in the finishing and making up section, but you have a lot of construction skills as well, weaving in the ends, blocking, double crocheting a seam, you know, tassels and fringes. It's got pretty much everything in here. How to make a pom-pom, don't need a pom-pom maker, it's got all of these methods. Even how to sew a lining, I mean, you can't really go wrong with that. And some embroidery as well, absolutely brilliant. Am I going to recommend this starter kit? I probably am, you know. There are things about it that aren't the best, but I paid 13 quid for it. I'm not expecting it to be brilliant. But I just thought as an all-in, it's got everything in there that you're gonna need for a beginner. Comes with some yarn that you can practice with. It's just a great starter kit for someone that you can say, there you go, I've bought you that, off you go then. Probably give it a 6 or 7 out of 10. This, on the other hand, I absolutely love. I'm going to go as far as to give it a 10 out of 10. I think an 8 or 9 is, you know, a brilliant score for this. You could use this as a beginner and keep it with you when you're working up YouTube patterns or when you're working up your free patterns and just sort of go, oh, I've forgotten what that means. Let's have a flick through. There it is, that's what it means, off we go then. And I just think it's a great resource to have at hand instead of having to go looking for things. I definitely would recommend this for a beginner. It's a great practice tool, it's a great resource to have as you go through your crochet journey, and it's got a lot of stitches in there as well that you can practice and use in a lot of projects. Definitely an 8 or 9 out of 10. The big question, can you learn to crochet for under 20 quid? Yes you can. There are some good enough cheap starter kits and books out there to get you going. There are some decent YouTube tutorials. There are some amazing YouTube tutorials as well. There are some great free patterns out there. On a budget, yes, you can do it. You can do it for under 20 quid. Have you seen anything else that's on a budget style that you would like me to review, or something that maybe looks too good to be true, because there is a lot of that going on right now? Let me know in the comments. Is there anything else that you would like to see me pop a review up for? Let me know in the comments as well. As always, thank you guys so much for all the support I've had over the past few months. It's been amazing. It's been quite overwhelming, really. A really nice Christmas present for us to know that people are out there enjoying the content. Please chuck a like and a subscribe on the channel if you haven't already. It helps us out a lot. It helps me to keep filming for you guys and doing things, putting reviews out there and putting patterns out there and things like that. Videos go up every Sunday between 6 and 7 UK time. We'll see you guys next week, and thanks so much for watching.